Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about Polygon targeting on Facebook ads as well as Google ads. This is a common question that comes up in the comment section on my other video I made about geofencing. I wanted to specifically address how to actually target somebody who's been in a specific particular geographic area before. So that could mean if you're a car dealership and you sell Mercedes, your Mercedes dealership, just as an example, you want to sell obviously to people who ideally, A, who like Mercedes, B, who bought Mercedes before, C, people that have been to your competing Mercedes dealerships in your market, in your geographic metro area, market, what have you. Why? Because how does it get any more targeted than that? Particularly if you got somebody who's recently been in the car dealership of the other Mercedes dealerships in your area. At that point in time, all you got to do is come in with a more compelling offer. Of course, before they bought in that car, you can pick them off for a much cheaper cost than doing the retarded advertising on, out there, what people do, car dealerships do, posting ads in the newspapers, whatever, outdated shit, basically. With technology, the way that it exists today, and the way that I'm going to talk about here, you can actually do that for yourself instead. And actually, at least before you're going to do broad scale advertising like that, where you're just trying to blanket your entire geographic market, you could go ahead and instead of using a shotgun, you could take a sniper rifle and pick off the exact people you want and get your acquisition cost down significantly, because there's no waste, what they call in the marketing space, waste, or advertising space, waste circulation. Because the more people you advertise to that'll never buy a Mercedes, the lower your ROI on your advertising campaign is going to go. So your goal always is of course you got to have a good offer to get in front of somebody, otherwise, who gives a shit about what you're saying anyway. But when you can go after people that are very likely to ultimately buy from you, the campaign can basically only be successful. If you get it targeted enough, it's really hard to screw up making a really good 1,000% ROI or greater when you understand digital marketing and the targeting options that you have available. With Facebook ads and the targeting options since 2020 and the privacy debacle, you can't target nearly as well as you could and used to be able to, making Facebook ads mostly ineffective for many businesses. Whereas if you add this geo-targeting, geofencing, Polygon targeting option to your Facebook, now it makes Facebook ads can work for you now, because you're not having all that waste circulation. So anyway, I'm going to talk about how this actually works, how you actually go out there and do it in reality, and give you some tips to go along with it. So if you are going to do it, how to get the basic best return out of it that you can as well. So anyway, to start off the video and getting into how this works, again, what you're basically talking about here is if you have a map here, what people want to be able to do is they want to target a geographic area. Maybe there's a conference, something, whatever, and they want to draw a line around that conference specifically. And they want to know that anybody who's went inside that geographic box, that polygon, if you will, within the last 30 days or whatnot, they want to put it into a specific audience so they could target it all by themselves. And you could do this with programmatic advertising networks for a long time. I've talked about that in my other videos. But what a lot of people instead want to do is do this with Google. They want to do this with Facebook specifically. Why? Because the ad networks are really robust. You can get in front of a lot more people that way for the most part. Google and Facebook are good because they have a lot of good ways to avoid bot clicks, bot views. Because when you're advertising on Facebook, Facebook knows how to police bots on their own network very well, versus some random website on the internet where they don't have those resources. Same thing with advertising on YouTube. If you're talking about advertising there, which is great, on Gmail, same thing, which is the places I want to go first to advertise when I'm doing non-search engine advertising because of the anti-click fraud procedures they have. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to talk up Google and Facebook per se. I don't get paid by them. But that compared to random advertising on this random website over here that's not hooked up to Google and Facebook's ad network systems, I'm going to pick it first. Okay? So anyway, that's what we're talking about here today. Now, how do you actually do this? So it's actually way more simple than you probably thought. Most people don't know about this because there's no very little information being put out there about this, because most people that advertise, just to be frank, they think, they just put an ad on Facebook with the default options out there that Facebook has, and they're going to make money. The people who do know how to do this, it's so effective. What advantage do they have to tell the world about this? So, unless you're in the know from somebody who actually cares enough about you to actually make money with your ads, you're not going to hear about this. There's a few news articles about it, but people are very hush-hush about stuff that works with ads. Because what's the point? What's the advantage of telling anybody about it? So what you do is you go to a company called Liveramp, get yourself an account there, and within Liveramp, they can hook you up with the Polygon targeting that you want within their systems. So, and then what you could do within their systems is draw a polygon around a certain geographic area, and then they will create an audience, an anonymized audience for you that will then hook up and integrate with your Google Ads or your Facebook Ads account, so you can then target those people that went within the boundary of a conference that just happened for a couple days, or they were at one of the 15 other Mercedes dealerships in the area or whatnot, whatever you're doing. So long story short, that's basically all it is here. Maybe one day I will get an account and I will show you guys how to run a campaign for this. I'm actually looking for volunteers, somebody that will let us do it for their company and publish the whole process, start to finish. Here's how you set up an ad. Here's how you do the targeting. Here's how you run the campaign. Here's the results versus going into the account. Click here, because you could go to Liveramp and have a rep explain this. There's no benefit to me telling you this per se. So if you anyway want to volunteer, sign away your rights for us publishing the information about the campaign that we set up for you, contact me at Guarantee PPC and we'll talk about it. So with that said, now some other key notes here. Making money and a good ROI with online advertising comes down to nuance. It's all nuance. Whether one guy can make millions and you can make negative millions based upon the nuances and how you set it up. How you set it up is everything. There's a very fine line between you targeting too broadly and not broad, not very broad, where you either make money or you don't make money. So your goal, the way that I always recommend people what to do on this channel is just, instead of doing what everybody else does, is start super broad and doesn't put much thought into who they need to be targeting. So go the opposite and go super targeted. Yes, you might not be able to make a lot of money out of that targeted audience you have, but at least you have the highest possible chance of getting an ROI, and then you can always go broader from there. I'm going to always target the most obvious thing that has buyers in it for me with as little waste as possible, make money from that, go a little bit broader. If that makes money, a little bit broader, and then go like that. And then that way, we're not going to run out of money and piss all our money away before we even hit any kind of traction, profitable traction with the ads. So with that said, if you're the Mercedes dealership, like with the example I gave you earlier, you could target all 15 dealerships, and that might be profitable enough. But why not do that plus target people that have good credit, or target people who have bought a Mercedes before in the last 5 years? Because you can get that credit card purchasing data through Liveramp as well. You could target people who have not bought a Mercedes yet, looking at the credit card data as well, and credit data as well. So with all that said, why not go a little bit further with the filtering right up front? What I would recommend you do is, if you can, if you're doing the car dealership thing, tap into the extra data that Liveramp has to not target people who have that. You know, if they're, you could do it. So you could target people who have bought in certain things, and then you could flip that. You could target people who have not bought certain things in the recent past, so that your ads are going in front of people who've not already bought the Mercedes, of course. Or, of course, you could just, your customers, a simpler way to do it would be your own customer list. Use that as a suppression list in your ad. And so if they get on your own customer list, as long as you have their email address and phone number, or phone number I should say, then the ads will not show for the people that are on that list. You can target everybody that has been to a Mercedes dealership in the last 30 days in your city, but not if they're on your customer list already. If you're selling something that people have they buy repetitively, like we had a day spa, we want people who bought before from the other day spas, because that indicates they're real customers. They're not just people going in there like employees or whatever, or just looking around. But more importantly, the real ideal buyer we want in our local market is somebody who's bought frequently. Because the 80-20 rule applies to any market. There's 20% of the people in any market that make 80% of the purchases. There's people that go to a day spa 10 times a year. They've done it for the last 10 years. They're going to do it for the next 10 years. That's the customer you want to pay money to get, obviously, first. So instead of just targeting people who have been to your competitors' day spas, if you were a day spa, why not target people who have purchased at least 3 times from a competing day spa, and then start there? So I'm just giving you some general guidelines as to how you can make yourself even more likely to make money from what you're doing with the geo-targeting. You can target people who have bought more than once. You could target people who have not bought yet. You could target people who have bought once. You could target people who have bought within the last 30 days, and then after that, not target them, because the more recent the purchase, the more likely they are to buy something from you. That particularly applies to something that that if they buy your thing. So if they bought within 30 days, you can target them. So there's a lot of different additional filters you can do, including demographic filters and income filters, because obviously, if you can't the lay down sale at the Mercedes dealership is somebody who has top 10% of income demographic. Maybe you just filter it on that level as well. So anyway, bottom line, you don't have to just rely on this, but you only have the luxury to add additional filtering to your Polygon targeting if you're in a market that you start out with enough people in it to begin with. What most of you guys that talk to me about geo-targeting, Polygon targeting, you want to target somebody who has been to like your competing customers, if you sell flooring, for instance, to your competing customers' showroom. Well, in a local market, even if you're in LA, that's probably only going to be 1,000 people a month in all the other showrooms in the entire area or whatnot. You don't have the luxury of adding these additional filtering. But if you're in the Mercedes example, now you're talking about on a monthly basis, there's probably 10,000 people in LA that have been to a Mercedes dealership in the last 30 days. Now you can go in there and add your income targeting, or you target based upon credit score. You can also do that inside Liveramp. The targeting, the ways to filter using Liveramp in addition to the Polygon targeting is basically limitless. You can target credit card. There's a whole new world that has opened up to the average advertiser. It used to be you had to be fairly savvy to target people on these different levels, like using purchase data from credit cards and so on and so forth. Now it's open to everybody. And in fact, I'm predicting in the next 10 years that's going to be everything, because the cost of ads is going to go up. Why? Because people who understand what I'm telling you here about you can use purchase data to filter your ads, they're going to get more ROI out of the same ad space on Facebook or Google than you're going to get. So then they're going to bid up the price, and unless you get with the program, you're not going to be able to make an ROI out of the ad space anymore. You got to join in, or you're just going to be left behind. So anyway, that is Polygon targeting, how to do it some basic information about it before you jump in. And everybody should basically do it if you even think it halfway applies to you. The only thing is, are you in a market where there's enough people to target on a geographic basis like that? Mostly having to do with being in your competitors' showrooms or businesses to actually warrant doing it, because if it's 1,000 people a month, even then, you may only get 10 customers a month from that, because you have to also consider, yeah, it's 1,000 people who've been to their showrooms, but no matter even if you have a great offer for them that offers them like the first purchase free, like we'll often do, just to get a very high value customer in the door, or 20% off for April or whatever, you're still only going to get 10 customers. It's not enough to move the needle for you if you're already a very established business. So it was a great ROI. It's just a matter of, is there enough meat on the bone? More than will it work? Because it will basically work every time if it even halfway makes sense to you that it should or could work. So, and maybe you don't care. You'll take the extra 10 customers a month. You don't give a shit. You have to spend however much time setting up your account over at Liveramp to get this set up. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to wrap it all up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was informative for you and it helps you make some money. If you like the video, I'd appreciate giving the video a like on the way out, and consider subscribing to this channel, as I have a ton of other content on this channel about how to make money with ads. If you, beyond that, I also have a blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. You should not only subscribe to the channel, as the information you're going to find on this channel is actual real information coming from a 15-year ad strategist who manages dozens of ad accounts on an ongoing basis, meaning you can rely on the information that's given to you here. You can also see really well documented written strategies from myself over at my blog at my site at guaranteeppc.com/blog. You should also check that out. If you like the video content that I have, you'll like the written content even more, including and with the column that I have over at entrepreneur.com. Beyond that, if you have any questions about anything I cover here today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days. You can ask me any ad-related question you would like. I'm more than happy to give back to you for helping our channel grow. And with that, in addition to that, if you need some help with anything I cover here today, or you just want the best ad manager to help you work and get you results with your ad accounts, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I do not charge any fees to our clients until you get a certain minimum amount of results on your campaigns, more sales or more leads on the same ad spend, or a variation of that. And we do not take fees unless we are able to get you minimum results up front. The only catch is that you got to have something we know we can get great results with. But if you want to see if we can work together and get you some estimates of what kind of results we could get for you, short, medium, long term, reach out to me at my firm at guaranteeppc.com and we can talk it over. As a final kind of thing I wanted to bring up as well, if you're not looking for an ad agency, a lot of people aren't, they want to manage their own ads, but you want to shortcut your way to success, we've worked in over 100 different individual niche markets already. If we've worked in your market already, you can simply take the ads, the landing pages, all that we've developed for that market already, and copy and paste what we've developed for that market that delivers leads or sales at a affordable cost into your own ad accounts and get the same results we are. We sell that for a one-time fee. At the very least, you should check out and see if we worked in your market. We'll tell you what results we've got in your market, and then what the price, of course, would be to take all the templates we got. But guarantee you're not going to do what we're doing even close with the amount of money we charge for the template. So if you're interested in that, you can also reach out, guaranteeppc.com. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.